Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Monday, June 10th, 2019.
Commissioner Garcia, Cabello, James, Davis, and Caloza are present. President James, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Shimei Gong for the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Janet Kwan, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Michael Simpson, LA San.
Good morning, Alan Calgucci, Bureau of Engineering. Good morning, Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. No speaker cards were received for any of the items for today's agenda as well.
Well, then we'll close general public comment. And is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Friday, March 26th? What day do I have? May 1?
1st.
Okay, May 1st, 2019. That'll be by Commissioner Cabello. Any objection? Oh, I know that. I know why it threw me off. I was looking at the meeting minutes for the date, and it was the meeting minutes of May 1 that I was looking at, and that date had March 22. If I looked at today's agenda, which is always a good thing to do, the date is Wednesday, May 1. So that's seconded by Commissioner Cabello. Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve the meeting minutes from May 1, 2019. Let's go ahead and take agenda item number 5, AFE Ozone Clean Technologies Incorporated, Sanitation and Office of Accounting, requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $45,000 to pay for a pilot program in which sanitation will utilize the services of the contractor Ozone Clean Technologies for cleanup and disinfection services utilizing ozonation in Skid Row for 6 weeks. That's 24 field days. The city shall pay the vendor an amount not to exceed $90,000. The AFE will cover half of the funding, thus the $45,000, and is being supplied through the general fund by Sanitation's Livability Services Division. Mr. Zamora?
Yes, good morning. Russell Zamora, Superintendent of Livability Services Division. Hello.
Hi. Mind telling us what we're doing?
Okay, well, it's we're always looking for different ways to, different products to help keep the areas that we work in clean. This is regarding OHS, which is the Skid Row area. This is a new, well, it's a biodegradable product that we wanted to try to test, run a pilot program, use the product in different ways, have samples taken of the product after it's been used to our scientists over at Hyperion so they can analyze it and we can look to see if this is something that we would want to use besides just the current bleach and water that we put down. It's a solution that's mixed and we put it on areas where there could be urine, feces, things of that nature to disinfect the area. We're going to try it in different ways. It's like, again, it's a eco-friendly product. And we wanted to try it using the power washing. We also wanted to try using it in conjunction with bleach and water. And these samples will be taken again and they'll be sent to Hyperion so the scientists there can evaluate it and give us some input on if the product is actually working.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zamora. So we'll start with Commissioner Cabello.
Just a quick question, and thank you, President James, and fully support this. Mr. Zamora, very good to see you again. Actually, a question for Dr. Campos, more of a request for Dr. Campos. Is it possible to request the bureaus to add the source of funding for all of the authority for expenditures moving forward? It just would be helpful to have that information. It's usually just kind of an invoice and the amount and a description what it's for, which is helpful, but I would like to see the source of the funding as well.
Yeah, the source of funding is already provided on all AFEs. If you flip through the page on page number 2 of the AFE, it's on page number 2, indicates that it's Fund 100, Department 82. If you're asking for maybe a description of what Fund 100 is.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
Okay.
General fund? Is
General
there a
fund,
sewer
okay.
maintenance fund? You know, I think that would be helpful. The account number is not going to be helpful to, I think, myself and my colleagues, but to the general public, and I'd rather have a specific source.
Yeah, in the description, it also indicates general fund by the LA Sanitation's livability, but we will work
I
with the
don't
bureaus
believe all of them
to-
do, though, and that's what I'm requesting.
Not all of them do, correct.
Yes,
So
to be
perhaps
more
maybe the
consistent.
request is to include it in the description.
Correct, not
And then
just
we
the
can
account
always
number.
work with the controller's office if they wanted to modify their form, we could do so as well.
I'm not going to request the controller's office to do that, just need the bureaus
The
to put that
bureaus.
in.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And along those lines, maybe just, I know it may take some time to train everyone up on this aspect of it, but the way that this description is written, Dr. Campos, in our agenda item number 5, is particularly helpful on that area because it says funding is supplied through the general fund by the Bureau of Sanitation's Livability Services Division. That kind of a description is helpful. To Commissioner Cabello's point, we don't see that very often, that kind of description in the agenda form.
Yeah,
The
that-
back page of the AFE may have the account number, but at least that kind of a standard summary of a description is very helpful.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
also work with the bureaus also to include council district numbers. I know that's something that this board has been asking for.
Commissioner Davis.
I just wanted a little understanding about our background on this particular choice. Are we currently using something now in terms of disinfectant in the area?
Yes, it's a mixture of bleach, chlorine bleach, and water.
So it's chlorine, bleach, and water.
Yes.
So we have a bleach substance that we buy from
Yes,
some contractor.
which is a chemical.
And we are not satisfied with the outcome of that, or after having been introduced to this subject, we felt that it would present something to us that would be more
Yes.
safer.
The bleach and water has been working good, but we're looking at other ways that we can help keep the area disinfected. I mean, there's typhus and recently typhoid and stuff that's out
What
there.
does this one bring that the other one that we currently use does not?
That's what we want to see for the pilot program and
What do the salespersons who are promoting this item tell us that it will do that the current substance does not do? What do they tell us?
I haven't heard a comparison of what one would do or the other, but they say that it's 99.99% that it'll kill everything. It's eco-friendly, which bleach has to be sucked
that's what I
up.
was trying to get him to tell me. So this basically is eco-friendly
Yes,
and more sustainable, if you will,
yes.
for us. So that's why it caught our eye. That's what I'm looking for. All right, thank you.
And I would just note for the record that the scope of work to be provided by the contractor is listed as well, just because I know that there's some attention that this type of work is getting in the downtown area and the Skid Row area as well. So anybody interested in that, it looks like it's the second page of the letter of agreement that's attached. And going forward, this is the second half of the $90,000 cost. Let's assume that the testing at Hyperion is satisfactory, that sanitation likes the result. Well, then you move through a more standard method of procurement, either seeking a sole source or going through another process to procure the item for a longer period of time?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this holds you for 24 working days, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, great.
I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5, seconded by Commissioners Cabello, Garcia, and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Any issue sending number 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Agenda item number 1, authority for expenditure. This is truck owners on file. Streets LA and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $1,500,000 or at an adjusted amount of $10,500,000 to pay for the Bureau of Street Services as-needed truck program. As part of this authority for expenditure, the Bureau requests that the board authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the authority for expenditure and any as-needed trucker agreements requested to meet the service demands of the program. As-needed truckers supplement existing staff in the transportation of materials, equipment, and debris throughout the city to maintain service levels provided for the Bureau. Ms. Frierson.
Hi, Gina Mancha, Bureau of Street Services.
Hi. So we normally do this through the AFE process. We've been doing this through the AFE process for the entire 6 years now that I've been here. And just based on memory, it seems like we're spending about the same money kind of across the board that we've been spending the past at least several years. Is my memory good on that?
Yeah, last year was 10 million.
Okay.
A little bit over 10 million.
Okay, and this year we go up a little bit because we're...
Yeah, it's the year end. We're pushing to finish all our activities. There's just a little bit more required than last year, and so we need to increase it a little bit to finish everything for the year.
Would the completion of Asphalt Plant 1, which is going to be happening pretty soon, when that becomes operational, will that reduce the need for some of the funds in this program, or will it not?
I don't believe so, because currently we're using...
We're still trucking it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just thought I would ask. Okay, any other questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1, seconded by Commissioners Garcia and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Agenda item number 2, Council Districts 2 and 14, Authority for Expenditure, DGS OFS Service Revolving Fund, Street Services, Streets LA, and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $20,000 or at an adjusted amount of $220,000 to pay for use of the gas lines to operate the heater and dryer equipment at Streets LA asphalt plants. We were just talking about the asphalt plant. The supply of gas enables the dryer to reduce the moisture content of the raw materials prior to mixing the materials to produce asphalt. Welcome back.
Thank you.
That's pretty self-explanatory in the authority for expenditure. Anything else to add?
No, not really. The price has gone up a bit, so we are a little bit higher than last year.
Well, that was my first question. Okay.
Yes.
So what, 10%?
I'd have to check with staff, but I know that last year we spent about 130, so we thought 200 would be enough for this year, but it's not. We need another 20,000.
And is that because of more activity on our end, or is that on the other end?
No, from what I've heard from staff, it's just the price has gone up. I believe in September it went up significantly enough to cause the need for more money.
Okay. And then this will get you through the rest of the fiscal?
Yes,
Okay.
It'll cover the pending bills.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? Agenda item number 3, Data Trace Information Services, LLC. Engineering and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and an execution of an authority for expenditure in the adjusted amount of $33,000 to pay for title plant services as needed by the Bureau of Engineering for access to records of deeds and ownership for the City of Los Angeles as required by the Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 22.326 for the period ending this fiscal year, June 30th, 2019. This authority for expenditure will increase the funding authority by $15,000. Go ahead, sir. Mr. Jimenez, how are you?
Good morning. Udi Jimenez, Chief Real Estate Officer for the Bureau of Engineering. So whenever we need ownership information or any deeds, legal descriptions, we have to get some actual documents from the title plant. This information is used for mapping purposes so that when a property is mapped, like on Navigate LA, it shows exactly what the limits of the property are, so legal descriptions are obtained by that. When we acquire property, we have to make sure that we're buying it from the owner of the property and that we're negotiating with the owner, so we need title information for that. We also do research regarding title when there's a trip and fall and the city gets sued, we have to understand where the accident took place and who owns the property, whether it's public right-of-way or whether it's owned by private individuals. And this particular expenditure is an ongoing expense that we incur every day.
Thank you. Any questions at all on agenda item number 3? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioner Caloza. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Any issue sending number 3 forthwith? We will send number 3 forthwith. Agenda item number 4, authority for expenditure, Drapeau Enterprises LLC, nationwide crane training. Sanitation and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and an execution of an authority for expenditure in the adjusted amount of $25,275 to pay for the National Commission for the Certification of Crane Operators, certified crane operating training, and certification for sanitation, solid resources processing, and construction division employees to be licensed crane operators. This authority for expenditure will increase the funding authority by $10,125. James Greenfield, hi.
Hello. James Greenfield, Construction Maintenance Superintendent with Sanitation.
Okay, so would you give us a little bit of information on why we need our folks to be licensed crane operators, certified crane operators?
Yes. So, well, in order to run a crane, they need to be certified, and so we have one crane. The certification needs to be redone every 5 years, and so we did one training previous that didn't require board approval due to the amount, and we needed to do a second training to make it available to all the equipment operators within our division, and so that's the need for the increase.
And is this something, so this is something that we do regularly?
Every 5 years.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I was going to say.
Right.
I don't remember this very often.
Right, not
but
very often.
I guess I was here when we did it last time, but 5 years ago, it's
Right.
going to be a little fuzzy. Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President. I just have a quick question. With this amount, how many folks will get certified and trained?
So each training is for 10 operators, so it'll be a total of 20 that are trained.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just looking to see if I had an additional question. Thank you. I'm just curious, in all caps, it says this training is a working condition fringe benefit. Maybe to Ted or to Fernando, is that a civil service issue or requirement, and the reason it's in all caps? Or go ahead,
I can
sir.
make a
Mr.
comment.
Greenfield?
So it was before my time here, but previous to the last training that was done over 5 years ago, there was a grievance involved, and so that precipitated that training and being offered to all the employees that were interested,
Oh, got
all
it.
the equipment operators that were interested. So
So it was a result of a
Right.
civil service issue that, that happened before. Okay, I just thought that was a little unusual. All right, thank you. So I'll make Commissioner Davis.
So prior to, my question for you is, we provide the resources for everybody to get trained. Was there a time prior to this where the employees were responsible for their own funding for training?
I don't know, because that would be, probably 5-6 years ago.
I see.
And it's so different divisions, different departments require that license, and
Sure,
so
most
it's
definitely. We
right.
the board would definitely want to make sure everybody's certified.
right.
In terms of the time that this training will take place, have they scheduled the time yet? Does it
Right. It's actually started last week and is finishing up through this Wednesday.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you.
Great, thank you. Anything further? I'll make a motion that that we approve agenda item number 4, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any issue sending number 4 forthwith? I will send number 4 forthwith. Colleagues, while we may, Dr. Kappas, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay. While we may do a more formal adjournment in honor of Freddie Venegas, the Streets LA employee who lost his life over the weekend, I do want to say something from our director today, since it happened on Friday afternoon, and we may do a more formal adjourning motion if some of Mr. Venegas' family wants to be here, of course. But it is with heavy hearts and deep sorrow that we mourn the loss of one of our Streets LA family members, just 38 years old, Palmdale resident Freddie Venegas. Freddie lost his life in a tragic accident on Friday afternoon, June 7th, at a street paving work site around Tahunga Avenue and Oxnard Street. Freddie is survived by 4 children, his fiancée, his mother, and his father. More details about the services and ways to help the family will be released soon. And as we remember and mourn Freddie, we ask you to keep Freddie and his family in your prayers and in your thoughts. Of course, Streets LA and Public Works will never forget his dedication to the city and to Streets LA and his commitment to service and to excellence. And with that message, we are adjourned this morning with the exception of the Bureau Directors meeting, which will occur